Keith Stewart, I mean, it was a kind of game that I think a lot of fans were interested in seeing how these teams would come out, because you guys have positioned yourself to be a factor in the race this year, and I thought they were treated to 3.5 quarters of a pretty good basketball.
Right.
Why don't we start with the positive first? The way your kids came out, and you got guys coming off bench hitting shots, and you stayed nip and tuck with them. Did they perform the way you wanted them to perform early on?
Early on, I felt that that minus the turnovers and the missed free throws, I felt that they came out and they competed and they fought, and gave us an opportunity to be in a position to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
As the second half rolled on, I mean, I think they can't allow the calls that are being made to demoralize them and get them to not play hard and fight. You got to compete at all times, and you cannot lose your cool.
Right.
Cooler heads prevailed. You got to fight through it. It's what makes tough teams tough down the stretch.
Well, and the ironic thing is, apparently the other two games ago, Middleton drew 2 tees. One of them was Buchanan, and they dealt with that internally, and in such a way that he knew that if he put himself in that position again to retaliate or do whatever, he'd be in a heap of trouble. I guess sometimes kids just have to learn that, don't they?
Well, bottom line, that's what he does. That's his style of play, getting in your face, make a big block or a dunk, and then he talks to kids and things of that nature, and that's what he does, and he's done a pretty good job of pulling other people in it. And if he can continue to do that without the refs flagging him for it, I mean, I will keep doing it. It's working for him. Kid's an athlete. He plays hard, and I think he can be a factor in this league, and he's really helped Middleton a lot this year. And we'll see what happens. But, the refs have to take control of the game and clean that stuff up.
Well, and I wasn't sure. That was a very physical first possession there in the fourth quarter, and, they probably could have whistled either the first or the second attempt. They waited till the third, and then it seemed as though your guy kind of, by that point, had gotten the boiler plate kind of went over the top.
Well, it was tough because I felt those were 2 strong blocks.
Yeah.
I didn't think either of them warranted a foul call, but they called a foul, and it's one of those things in the heat of the game. The team's making a run, and you stop the run by blowing the whistle. That's the sort of thing you get in the end, and you have to blow the whistle evenly on both ends.
And then, of course,
especially down the stretch.
Yeah, because after setting that tone, they got really pretty ticky tacky.
Yeah, they get ticky tacky. You let the air out of one team, and and it's obvious. I mean, this is something that happens, and I have a great deal of respect for Middleton's coaching staff. I have a great deal of respect for Middleton's team, but it has nothing to do with them. But every time we play them, this is what happens. And my mission is to abolish that the next time around.
Well, and I was just going to say, you now have a teaching opportunity here.
Yes.
I mean, you saw, combined with the technical free throws and then the three-pointer at the end of that possession, 7 points and 1 trip down the floor for Middleton. There's going to be a lot of those kind of games this year. Where
come on. I mean, my thing is that could have gone either way. I mean, you got all sorts of calls that are being called, and then when you think things should be called and not. I mean, I don't want to blame the officials because that's not what I do. I mean, I blame, what we do and us not staying together, falling apart down the stretch, fighting through adversity. That's what it's all about. Luckily, it's early.
Yep.
Kids can get it out now, come back together, get that feeling of humiliation, and come back and do something with it.
And you get to do it against the defending state champs.
Exactly. So
I mean, so what do you do? What do you tell your kids now, and how do you deal with that game next up on the schedule?
Well, you got Buchanan. You got several Buchanans at Memorial. So you got to get ready for everybody. You got to get your kids jacked up to compete, and just tell them. And bottom line, you have nothing to lose. This is my motto. You have nothing to lose right now. We've already had the amount of wins this year that we had all of last year. So we have no place to go but up. Yep. We have nothing to lose in each game. You just come out and fight every game and stay together.
Well, hey, Keith showed a lot of flashes tonight of being that team that's going to break through this year. So best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Rob.